Welcome to FyiPark.com. My name is Thomas, and I am the full stack dad or full stack developer for FyiPark.com. Welcome, and I really appreciate your participating with the platform. Without you, it wouldn't be possible. So again, thank you again for joining FyiPark.com. Today we'll actually be setting up a tutorial. The tutorial today will be setting up the your space, just how you might want to set it up, and some of the steps that are taken. It's pretty seamless process, but it's always good just to get a little well orientated around along the way. Anyway, once you log in, you'll be greeted with your main dashboard, as you see here. As you can see, I don't have any stalls set up in this time, but what you would do is you go to Add Space, and then from here you can have this another screen for building your space where you start. But this is are the actually really some really good use cases for why you want to maybe use FyiPark.com. One, of course, is just traditional parking, a great parking alternative to the traditional parking out there, but also for straight storage, other storage ideas as well, for like your RV storage, as well boat storage, as well as even temporary storage, and then um, as well as other parking like event parking, and even like tiny house land rentals. The tiny house business is is, is, is percolating right now, and you can provide your land for a spot for them to plot down their tiny house. Some great recurring income that way. Anyway, I digress. We can get started. Anyway, as you basically scroll down, you'll have the initial setup. But before this, actually, when you set up these up, if you create my stall, if you haven't set up your bank account yet, you'll be prompted to do so, because the last thing we want is for you to set up a space and then it to become rented and we have nobody to pay. So you could either do that, you'll be directed to do that after you create my stall, or you can kind of be a little proactive and start that. So where you can find that is from the dashboard. You go to Account Settings and then go to the payout method is what you're looking for. So right here, your payout method. And this, you'll be prompted to go to, what we do is we use Stripe. So when you set up your bank account, you actually, as you see, you actually don't submit your information to FyiPark.com. We have a great third party called Stripe that takes care of all that for us. We don't store any of your banking information at all. It's a great go-between. So they basically alert FyiPark.com that a payment's been made, and they pay you, and then of course then minus any platform fees goes to FyiPark.com. But anyway, you'll be welcome to this a welcome screen, and we have just some easy things to fill out. The type of entity, so most likely you're going to be an individual, and you enter your mobile number, this so they can alert you of the transactions and whatnot. And then email, probably best to use the same email that you use to sign up with FyiPark.com. That's your choosing. And then when you go to next, you'll be greeted to a screen that you just simply enter your banking information. What you will need though is your like a checking account for Canada, so that you need your transit number, account number, and bank number, whether it can be found on your check. So what we do, so once you set that up, you basically go to that add space screen. But just for so that we're not spending all day, I have created a few spaces. So I will go through this for you. Is that naturally with space we'll be utilized for is naturally this is great for search criteria. So it's great to set it up. So if you feel that your space is mostly for parking, also an RV site or storing. So storing could be include anything from like boats or trailers, RVs. It's strictly storing. So they're not just parking; they're actually storing. Where an RV site is different. It's an RV site for staying. So if you have some land that you feel it can provide a great experience for RV sites, it's a great way to do that. So, but in this case, we have storing and multi-use. And then from that time, we have facility type. So facility type is, of course, strictly your type of building, or is it a house, a business, a condo that they'll be looking for when they come see you. Kind of give them a heads up. And then the space type is basically the actual area that they'll be parking at or staying at. So is it a lot, a garage? It kind of goes on. Is it a driveway, a street, or carport? And the booking type though is something we should really look at though and explain a little further. The booking type is either instant or request. An instant booking, as you might imagine, is when they book it, it's instantly booked, and so they don't have to. Um, uh, Basically, if you're in a facility or an area that is quite open, and you don't say it's like a driveway, simple driveway that you don't have to prepare much upon their arrival. An instant booking is great that way. They book it, they pay you, and they park. But you might be in a facility or an area that a request booking is quite important. So say you're in an area that they might need some lead time. So they basically, or you want to maybe check out their account first to see if they're a good guest, one that could stay around your area. So say if you have a really nice garage, but you want to make sure that only guests with high scores stay at your place, or again, or yet there's some preparation you need to do upon their arrival. In that case, you do a request booking. So when they book it, as you will see, you will get an alert that they're requesting the booking, but it hasn't been booked yet. So you will have to actually approve it on the dashboard or on the calendar. So that basically that's kind of good. You can certainly use that for your own discretion. That's there for you. So in that case, you can do an instant. The maximum vehicle size, of course, is the maximum type of vehicle that could stay at your spot. So you may not want to have so if you just have a spot at a garage, you may not want to have an RV, but if you have an open field, you can certainly say RV or motorhome. It could be your spot. And then space type, we kind of went through that bit. And the access method, this method is you just want to share with your guest the type of access that they will have to. So if they need a swipe card to get in, or in this case, it's a gate, maybe the gate needs to be open, they need to arrange that for you. So you have communication with them about that. Or then in this case, simply park means they can just show up, park, and leave, and the transaction is done. So still going step by step. I, of course, have a few listings made up. Then we can just quickly cover for you. So in this case, we want to update this one. So in this case, it has all these settings I've shared with you. Then after that, you'll see once you finish this, you'll come to this screen and you'll have check marks. This is what's all been completed. So you don't have to complete all of these in one sitting if you can't. This is just some simple reminders what's done and what needs to be done. So pricing, after you've done this is the listing. We'll go into pricing. This is your daily rate, and this is required, and also monthly rate. The daily rate is of course we right now we just do days right now, and in the future we'll be doing monthly rates for the longer stays. But right now it's a minimum a day, so that's easier for our guests to take care of. It's not an hourly rate, so you don't have to wait. Make sure that well, this person came at this hour. Or you have to kind of manage your property. We just right now the platform is strictly the minimum is a daily, is 1 day's stay. So if they need to book it for uh, just a few hours, they can actually get it for a day. But you'll also be able to describe in your description and setup in your listing if they have certain restrictions, so they can only arrive, like the space is only available during 9 to 5. Say you're downtown, you have a spot open. You can say that on your description. So we go to our description, and so you have listening, and this is a whole summary of the space. So this is where you want to outline what the benefits are of the space. Might be close to this type of building or this type of attraction. Um, Also, this is where you would also want to display any type of restrictions, kind of your home rules. It's basically arrivals at 9 and have to leave at 6 o'clock. But we'll be expanding this type of experience further. But for now, this would be a great time just to have that in description. Photos, kind of self-explanatory. You basically, the first thing what you want to do is select your photos, and you'll basically naturally a screen will come down, and you choose your photos, and it'll show up here. And once you have the photos in here, you just click Add Photos, and it'll basically up upload your photos. It's a good idea to have a few photos. This was like your primary, your feature page. But it's good if you have maybe have a couple photos of the entrance, the way to get in, maybe another picture of surrounding areas, kind of give them an idea of the benefits there. So you can add a few photos, and you'll see it's basically a scrolling screen of photos. Just give them an idea of your facility. And the amenities is mostly what people will actually search for. So these amenities it's good amenities that kind of show them if you have surveillance on your property. Is it like a heated garage? Is it also wheelchair accessible? That would be important. In this case, this one has a plug-in available, and it's near Rogers Place Arena. So this is actually a great requirement. So maybe have a nearby attraction. Just enter the attraction name, or maybe a building. So maybe you're close to a large facility where a lot of parking is needed, say downtown. So you may write down put down that building name, or even maybe a road, or a road or street that's very popular. And of course, we have all these. It's quite self-explanatory. Again, downtown. Is it near a stadium? Is it near a hospital clinic? These are quite important to our guests. Or is it near the arena or near an airport? And then actually you go to location. Your location you just enter your address, and that's really important. So you'll basically enter your address under location, and it'll also create a map and directions for that location. Now, one thing to note with locations, I'll show you, is that your primary ad or your primary listing rather won't show your address at this time. It will show kind of a rough area on the map where you are, but we're not going to give out your address specifically. So when they book it, as you can see here, the address will show in the person's history, and at that time, they'll get the directions to your facility. But right now, just for your own privacy, we don't provide the address, just kind of a rough area on the map where you are. And then these are the areas that we filled in. So this is a parking spot. It's not storage. It's a driveway, the parking, and maximum size is a truck, and kind of goes on. And amenities, and then of course, the different areas. Have the reviews that come in, and then an area on the map of where you are. And from here, again, this is where where they create their start dating, the parking, as well as the price, and they book. And so to manage all of this is on a separate tutorial. That tutorial is the host calendar, which you can see at our list of tutorials. Go there to have some interesting ways on how you can manage and create income, and also create basically optimize the income through our yield management, and also how to block off days if you can't accept anybody on specific days, and to change pricing as well as which we can go through that on. So say you want to optimize the weekend where the price will actually increase on the weekend and go back to your standard rate. So I hope everything that we covered today answers most of or all your questions. Naturally, you feel free to go to support down here. Click on support. We'll go to our create a ticket, ask some other questions, or our handy bot as well can help you out. Can direct you to a few areas as well. And also you can again contact us through the bot as well. Through the different areas you can go to I'm a member and I need assistance. You can click on that and you just do a regular email as well request. Well, thank you again for being part of FyiPark.com, and we really appreciate it, and have a good day.